will now need to access perhaps thousands of TV stations, thousands of media websites to be on top of the information. So we call this information obesity or infobesity.
So Andrew, over the past 15 years, what have been the biggest changes in the financial news industry in getting news to the audience?
I think two things have changed massively. One is speed. When I first started in the early part of the century, people could trade off the news. They could read a news story and click buy and sell, and they would make a profit. And nowadays, the markets move before you've even blinked. In fact, people use microseconds to calculate the time in which news is delivered. And there's a lot of money that's invested in people getting access to the news first. And not only that, your brokers will be using news to calculate the spreads. News is filtered into many different products, not just people trading off it. Anyone that needs to understand what's happening in the markets, or any products that need to understand what's happening in the market, will use news to change their products, their pricing, etc. The second part of what has changed over the time I've been in the market is the massive volume of information. Everyone's familiar with social media. Yeah, back in 2006, I think Twitter started, and we have a massive deluge of information that have come out on Twitter. But people forget also the dawn of the internet journalist. People like you and me starting up their own blogs back in the year 2000. And now that's gone massive now, and we have hundreds, if not thousands, of websites, journalistic websites offering information. Even as an example, Dukascopy TV is an example now of the plethora of video channels now available through the internet. So ones where you could just read one source of information from either Reuters, Bloomberg, or Dow Jones, you will now need to access perhaps thousands of TV stations, thousands of media websites to be on top of the information. So we call this information obesity or infobesity. So speed and infobesity are the two things that have changed.
So like here at Dukascopy TV, we primarily reach our audience through a digital platform. But what will be the new methods of getting news to the audience? So
right now, people are moving away from the app and trying to use information such as news to bring people back into the app. So an example would be non-farm payrolls coming out in 30 seconds. We believe that it's going to be at plus 180, and a message flicks up on your mobile screen, and you click on it and it brings you back into the app. That's one area which is still evolving rapidly, in which people are using information to draw people back into the app. With the technology I work on, would hazard a guess that news will, the way we digest news will be very, very different. As I said, there's a vast amount of information out there, and people will now not only elect what they want in terms of information, but they will it will be served up in a completely different method. So, for example, I might say to my website, my app rather, or my phone, tell me what the latest opinions are on euro dollar approaching 110, and my machine will then summarize from hundreds, if not thousands, of news sources what the latest opinions are around that theme, and this could be in all sorts of areas. And eventually you will also get a computer writing news stories, and potentially journalists, certainly in the very, very near future, simple news stories that are reporting on facts are already being automated. And we will see more and more automation of news, and I think journalists will eventually be left to be writing opinion pieces, and even then computers may move into that.
So what is the democratization of trading tools?
Democratization of trading tools is a term that I use and have used for many, many years, insofar as we look at tools that start off in the institutions, banks, trading desks, and end up being available to the masses, either through Google Finance, Yahoo Finance, or your brokerages, or whatever it may be. And a very common idea is fund management. Previously, people had to pay huge costs for fund management. Nowadays, people can access social funding. They can use platforms that give them access to fund managers at small costs, ETFs. Other tools, the basic charting tool. 20 years ago, charting tools or even technical analysis or news from people like Dow Jones or Reuters was only there for the professionals. Nowadays, it's just a basic requirement. Most portals, brokers offer news, calendars, charting packages, and essentially in the last 20 years, there's never been a time where the retail trader has access to a set of tools so similar to those of an institutional trader. And that's why I think the democratization of these tools has really nearly reached its nirvana.
Thank you, Andrew, for speaking with us through video chat from Barcelona.
Thank you.
And thank you at home for watching today's broadcast. If you like this video, why don't you subscribe to our channel? Goodbye for now.